When you have a story as great as Final Fantasy VII, the characters' actions are only as good as the motivations they have behind them. I'm really looking forward to the backstories of the characters in the next installment of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So let's take a look at the backstory of one of Final Fantasy VII's most beloved characters, Barret Wallace. Let's get odd. Please be advised that this video contains spoilers for the original Final Fantasy VII, so if you haven't yet played that game or you don't want the story spoiled for you, please stop the video now lest you be spoiled. At the beginning of the game, Barret is immediately butting heads with Cloud. They do have seemingly opposite ideals on the surface. Cloud is very apathetic about most things. He doesn't care about the planet, he doesn't care about what happens to any members of Avalanche, but Barret on the other hand cares deeply about almost everything and everyone. He cares so much about the planet, about his team members, and he especially cares deeply for his daughter Marlene. As the player, you get bits and pieces of his personality and motivations throughout the beginning of the game, but they don't delve deep into the character of Barret until you reach North Corel. When Cloud and his companions arrive in North Corel, the townspeople immediately berate Barret, claiming that North Corel has turned into a garbage heap, and Barret is solely to blame. Even Barret blames himself for destroying the town. Looking around the town, North Corel is very much a run-down, poor town that makes ends meet by collecting and selling junk. Barret explains to the group that his hometown used to be around in this area, but it got buried in just 4 years. Barret's hometown, Corel, had always been a coal mining town. He describes it as a dusty, poor, calm, real small town. Shinra came to the town essentially promising that in exchange for giving up their coal mines, Shinra would improve the lives of everyone through the use of Mako reactors. But one man opposed. Dyne, who had been best friends with Barret since childhood, didn't want to throw away the coal mines. He argued that the coal had been theirs for generations, so they had no right to throw it all away. Everyone else, including Barret, was in favor of Mako. Barret insisted that he no longer wanted his wife, Myrna, to suffer anymore. Dyne understood Barret's stance, but he still strongly opposed giving up the coal mines, ultimately to no avail. The Corel reactor was eventually built and completed, and everyone thought it would bring them an easier life. But when Barret and Dyne were on their way home after being out of town for a few days visiting a Mako reactor being built, they see that Corel and its town people are being attacked, burned, and destroyed by Shinra soldiers. There was an explosion at a reactor and Shinra blamed the accident on the people, claiming that it was done by a rebel faction. When Dyne urges Barret to return to the village, Scarlet and Shinra soldiers shoot at them, causing injuries to Barret's right arm and Dyne's left arm. This left Barret with the heavy burden of guilt, and is unable to forgive himself for going along with the building of the Mako reactor. Shinra took advantage of him and Barret ended up losing his wife Myrna. After dealing with his grief, Barret had a gun grafted into his right arm to get revenge on Shinra, who took everything away from him. But he knew that Dyne was still alive because he had heard the doctor say that there was another man who got the same operation as him, but it was his left arm. Barret then insists on meeting Dyne alone in the desert to apologize for everything that had happened. There is an interesting juxtaposition between Barret and Dyne. They had been best friends since childhood, and really they both just wanted what they thought was best for everyone. But upon losing everything, they both had the potential of going down a dark path. Both of them lost their wives and families. Both blamed themselves for Shinra taking advantage of them and destroying everything. They both could have ended up like Dyne, mentally and emotionally damaged to the point of no return, but I really think Marlene saved Barret's life. Barret has this balance between seeking revenge against Shinra but also wanting to save the planet and protect the ones he loves. Dyne never had such balance. He tells Barret that he didn't just lose an arm, he lost something irreplaceable. He feels like his life has been over since then, so much so that he wants to destroy everything, including himself. He's got nothing left in this world, but Barret reveals to him that Marlene is still alive. However, Dyne is unfortunately too far gone. He feels that after 4 years, Marlene wouldn't even know who he is anymore. This leaves me with a couple questions. If there was even a slight chance that his daughter was alive, why didn't Dyne fight tooth and nail to find Marlene? I would also think that upon realizing that she is alive, he would go as fast as he could to see her. He does tell Barret that Marlene wants to see her mother and he intends to bring them together, which is very disturbing and unsettling. I believe this is a great opportunity for the next installment of Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they can really take the time to flesh out the character of Dyne. His mind and heart are obviously unreachable at this point, and he cannot be reasoned with. Dyne's last words to Barret are, "Don't ever make her cry." Both Barret and Dyne feel so guilty about what happened that they feel their hands are too stained to carry Marlene. But I think because Barret went into town and was able to find her, he carries a responsibility with him to protect her and take care of her, whereas Dyne unfortunately feels permanently broken beyond repair. So here's my question for you. Are you looking forward to Barret's backstory in Final Fantasy VII Remake? Do you have any predictions on how they will develop Dyne's character? Let me know down in the comments below. I thought that John Eric Bentley did a fantastic job portraying the character in the first part of the remake, and I look forward to him again in the second part of the remake. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the video and the channel. For other videos from Odd Drummer Gaming, click or tap the screen. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. You can follow along on the socials at odd_drummer. Stay odd and keep on playing.